Morgan Roddy. I use she, her pronouns, and I am co-owner and head queer at Queer Chocolatier. Except my wife is technically head queer, but we don't have to get into that. I've made chocolate truffles for about 15 years now. My first degree is in fine art. The creative process really transferred from being like a painter and a sculptor and a weaver and all this stuff into chocolate just by accident. I had a roommate who made chocolate chip cookies for like a work event, and I saw on the back of this chocolate chip bag and it said, you know, truffles, and it had 3 ingredients. And I thought, I can handle this, no problem. And then it just like one of those light bulb moments that said, oh, I could probably add flavors to this and treat chocolate like a canvas at that point. My second degree is in sociology, and with that I became especially focused on sociology of food and agriculture. So I became really concerned and critical of our food systems, the way our food is distributed, the way our food is consumed and packaged, and the way sometimes we're removed from food. Because I think it is important to know where your chocolate comes from, to know what's in it, to know the processes behind making it. Some people will say, well, the answer to everything is everything needs to be organic. And that doesn't necessarily need to be the case. Cocoa farmers are generally small-scale farmers, and for them to afford for the certification process, that can be a big outlay of expense. Fair trade is a similar certification process. Sometimes you have to pay too much to get it. Whenever we have these certifications, it can lock out people who are really looking for opportunities. So now we're talking about, okay, are women being represented in the growing industries? Are Native people also being represented? So there's just a lot of things that we can ask that every day we're not told to ask or even know how to ask. There needs to be a more honest, robust, transparent conversation, because consumers can handle it and consumers can make their choices. We need to have businesses that are transparent. We need to have businesses that stand for something besides profit. We need to have businesses that are really connected to the people they serve. My wife, Sherry, was very supportive to the point of insistent of me starting this business. And when it became time for us to go make that leap, we decided to come back to Muncie so that we could actually live on her income and then build some time for me to start this business and see where it leads. When I started the business, I wasn't sure I was going to be Queer Chocolatier. I could have been Morgan's Chocolates. I didn't have a name yet. But in fact, we had a presidential election that went awful for queer folk, right? So I thought, what can I do to push back and to hold some space? At that point in time, the first thing that came to mind was, oh yeah, my chocolate shop should be called Queer Chocolatier. Honestly, there hasn't been any backlash. If anything, there's been tremendous support, and almost even shy of that, the overwhelming response is, hey, you have good chocolate. And I mean, it is about the chocolate. But then there are folks obviously who are really concerned about the first part of our name, and they're really excited to know that there's a queer business leaders that are out there. The hardest thing about having this business is not even anything to do with being a queer businesswoman. The hardest thing is about being a businesswoman. There are some folks where I've had to deal with subcontractors, or I've dealt with government agencies, and a lot of them are still products of rural Indiana, and there's a little, well, little lady, do you think you need to be X, Y, and Z? And I'm not going to apologize for being a woman. I'm not going to be apologizing for being queer. I'm not going to apologize for being married to another queer woman. And, I'm certainly not going to apologize for selling you chocolate.